Um, oh my God, I'm not going to talk to, is the camera's here, right? I can look at either one.
I'm mostly going to be on the front one.
My name's Jen Kirkman. Oh, I should be on mic, right? I know what I'm fucking doing. My name is Jen Kirkman. This is my podcast. I Seem Fun, the diary of Jen Kirkman podcast. This is episode 154. I've been doing this a long time, but never in front of a camera. It won't always be in front of a camera, but this week we are streaming live from the All Things Comedy Studio. Now, let me warn you, it's a podcast. You're supposed to listen to it. I ain't much to look at. I mean, I'm the most gorgeous woman who ever lived, but I'm not going to be doing anything that you need to be watching it for unless you just enjoy what it looks like. And I don't blame you. There's a lot of fun things behind the scenes. I have my computer, which is connected to the Wi-Fi. I've got my papers. I make notes before this. I have my mug that says Rich Bitch. This is just one of the, you can buy this mug if you want it. Rich Bitch. The joke is that the dollar sign is not covering up the I am bitch. So you have a swear word on your mug. And you can get this at my website, jenkirkman.com. Click on merch. Anyway. Or Estoy Merchandise, ESTOY merchandise.com, at the Jen Kirkman store, and get yourself a Rich Bitch mug. Now, okay, so I'm just going to ignore the camera, but I wanted to give you a special message. If you have never heard of my podcast, it is a weekly diary entry where I tell you all about my life. We've gone deep. I've cried on episodes. People have gotten to know me and the people in my life. The people in my life have been like, I didn't realize you'd been talking about me for years. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. There's recurring characters. It's just me doing a half of a strange voice. And I think you would like it. If you like confessional things, then you'll like my podcast. And you can find it on iTunes, Google Play. What the fuck is this? Not Stitcher. What's the other thing we do that's fun? SoundCloud. And if you go to jenkirkman.com, click on podcast, you can find more information there. If you want to go back and listen to all the archives, which I recommend you do. Anyway, so we have a lot to get to this week. And when I walked in, I was just perusing the internet. This is breaking news. This is happening right now. It was updated 9 hours ago. This is not, this is on AOL.com. This is on Business Times, theindependent.co.uk. This is not bullshit. The only thing I have a feeling that Russia, WikiLeaks, Julian Assange are fucking with us. Like, I feel like they planted this story and it's not true because it's just so hard to comprehend that there are aliens. But astronomers say they have detected strange possible alien signals from 234 stars. And so it's coming. And we remember Stephen Hawking was like, don't fuck with the aliens when they come. They're not trying to come to be like, hey guys, what's up? They want to kill. He even warned against aliens again as recently as September. I'll read that I'll read what's happening and then I'll tell you how we're all going to die. So the alien life has been hard to find so far, but two scientists, E.F. Bora and E. Trottier, there's a video playing, say that it could be a possible cause behind some unusual signals they observed. In their recently submitted study, the astronomers from Canada's Laval University have documented, that sounds like a fake. That's probably a very accredited place, but Laval sounds like something you name your kid after like a disco trip. Have documented, I'm drinking hot water. Fuck, that hurt. Have documented their identification of 234 stars out of 2.5 million, which seem to pulse light at a consistent rate. The paper discounts possible interference from the instruments or data analysis and doubts that the signals were created by molecules, rapid pulsations, or Fourier transform of spectral lines. No one knows what these other fucking things are anyway. But it is, whenever we hear something, they're like literally an alien spacecraft will land. They're like, no, that's a volleyball. It just looks different out here. And have you guys ever been to Arkansas? Yeah, that's what volleyballs look like here. Just the neighbors' kids were playing. We're like, but a giant thing crash landed and it's smoking and it's made of metal. That's no, you didn't see anything. So it's weird that they're like, yeah, well, it's not our usual molecules, rapid pulsations. It's aliens. It's bizarre to me that they're just admitting it, which makes me think that I think it's over. I mean, This makes me want to, when I read stuff like this, I'm like, I'm going to start smoking again. I'm going to get super drunk tonight. And I don't smoke anymore, and I can't drink really because of my voice. And it just makes me want to go like, fuck it, I'm going to get huge. That's the first thing I think of is smoking, eating, and drinking. And then just not working and sitting around. Because if we have a month left, let's say, before we're attacked by aliens, why would you go to work? Why would you go? It's fulfilling. That's if you like have, I don't know, lung cancer and you're still trying to have some semblance of a life and it makes you stronger. But they're coming. If they're coming, then there's no like, I'll go to work so I can feel like I'm making a difference in the world. It's not going to be here. So I recommend, I just feel like everyone should start eating and drinking. Anyway, the signals, okay. The team proposed the idea that based on findings from previous research, there's the possibility, and I know they're only saying a possibility, but my mind is locked on this as that means yes. Because if you're a little kid and you're like, can I have candy? And your mom's like, possibly, you won't stop until you get it. There's a possibility that the signals are caused by light pulses generated by extraterrestrial intelligence to make us aware of their existence. And I also don't know if it's like an actual alien, like, hey, I'm a little thing with a weird body and I'm ET and I want to hang out. Or if it's like, you know, when you blow on a dandelion and it flies everywhere, that whole thing of like, that's life. Like, I don't want that kind of life. I don't want like technically it's life, but it's like fucking amoebas. I want things with brains that know better. And they're like, oh, we used to be you on Earth. And then we had to leave because this one year we elected Donald Trump for president. We're in this alternate reality where this has happened before and they're coming back to warn us. But their bodies have changed because they have to live in space. Not that we're not in space, but you know what I mean. We're in like good space. We're in like if space were a city, we're in like the Earth is like the strip mall. Like it's a super convenient part of space. As far as being human goes, you can get all your needs met at a manicure and you can breathe and you can get water. Anyway, such the team proposed, okay. The study also notes that this small group was overwhelmingly in the F2 to K1 spectral range. No, I don't know what the fuck that means. As Universe Today points out, that's significant because this is a small range centered around the spectrum of our own sun. And our own sun is the only one we know of that has an intelligent species living near it. I assume that's us. Despite the indications, there's certainly quite a bit of skepticism concerning the possibility of aliens behind these signals, and the team states that this hypothesis needs to be confirmed with further work. There's always skeptics and boring people that are like, technically, I think that's, you just need to get some lens cleaner on your thing, ho. But, so Stephen Hawking has said this before, but he said it again in September of 2016, which was only last month. Theoretical physicist and I almost said cosmetologist. He'll do your nails. Cosmologist Stephen Hawking has once again warned of the dangers. I like that he did this once. This isn't a reprint. He was like, hey guys, just want to get back in the news and remind you of a thing I said last year, which is seriously, you don't want aliens visiting. So, has once again warned of the dangers associated with extraterrestrial life contacting Earth in a half-hour program on Curiosity Stream, reports CNET. I don't know what that is. The Country Music Network? What's CNET? Oh, CNET. Oh, CNET.
Yeah, it's a
tech website. I wonder what the C stands for.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Cocksucker. Because I'm 4. It either stands for cunt or cocksucker. The renowned scientist has explained the reasoning behind his cautious outlook, and it has to do with how things played out on Earth. In the segment titled Stephen Hawking's Favorite Places, the scientist takes viewers to Gliese 832c, a potentially habitable, Earth-like extrasolar planet located 16 light years away in a CGI spaceship. While passing this super-Earth, Hawking gives his take on alien life. If intelligent life has evolved on Gliese 832c, awful name. Oh, wow, I'm looking at a picture of it. It legit looks like Earth, except more yellow where our oceans are. We should be able to hear it, says Hawking of the planet, which is at least 5 times the mass of Earth. Oh, they could kick our fucking ass. One day we might receive a signal from a planet like this. So that's happening a month later. But we should be wary of answering back. Meeting an advanced civilization could be like Native Americans encountering Columbus. That didn't turn out so well. I'm ready. If I don't ever want to die, but if you're like, you could just die at 90 like an old person and, you know, they probably will find you by yourself in your, you know, fancy but nice nursing home, eating your tapioca. And that's not to say, that's not a woe is me. I you know, I plan to be in the relationship I'm in until I'm 90, but as I was saying, men die first, or he could get confused in his old age and wander down the hall and think he's like a bird or something. So you can't, even if the person you're with is alive with you at 90, you can't count on them being there for you. And I don't mean that negatively, like they're going to start gambling, but I just mean, who knows what's going to go on in their brains if they have one left. So if intelligent life has evolved on Gliese 832c, worst name, we should be able to hear it. Oh, I already said that. Oh, okay, so my point was, unless I die when I'm 90, I don't want to die now. But if someone was like, okay, but it's going to be from aliens, I'd kind of take that. If everyone was going, there's no choice. Or they could never come and we live another 50 years. No, I don't know. I think I'd stay. Or if they're... Okay, if they're like, the aliens are coming, you're going to die, or some people don't, but it's just going to be kind of shitty here for 50 more years, I would take die with the aliens. Did you find out what CNET stands for? Nobody cares about it, only me.
It's a CBS tech website.
Oh,
so
okay.
It may stand for consumer. It's a lot of reviews of technology.
Oh, yeah. I think I knew that. Hawking's pessimistic take on alien life is nothing new. He's really like ginning up the fear. Is that a word? Fear-mongering. I imagine they exist in massive ships, having used up all the resources from their home planet. Such advanced aliens would perhaps become nomads, looking to conquer and colonize whatever planets they can reach. If so, it makes sense for them to exploit each new planet for material to build more spaceships so they could move on. Who knows what the limits would be? It's so weird because when I think of aliens, I think of them in this far-off sense, but I think of spaceships. I go, the spaceships seem plausible. I bet that was a spaceship that guy saw. And not a shooting star, as the government would have him believe. But then when we really get down to brass tacks and we think about these things, people, aliens, on other planets, I'm like, no one else knows how to walk and talk and think and build things but us. And I guess that's my inherent narcissism, but I want there to be. I mean, of course I believe in other life, but just because I can't imagine it, I'm like, no one else knows how to put on socks. His views come from looking at the trajectory of intelligent life on Earth. If a similar one takes place between aliens and humans, then mankind will be the likely underdog. We don't know much about aliens, but we know humans. If you look at history, contact between humans and less intelligent organisms have often been disastrous. But how do we know they're more intelligent than us? I mean, do they have Cheesecake Factory? Like what did they have on their planet? How do we just assume everyone's smarter than us? This is fucking America, damn it. The whole globe is America. They're certainly smarter than some people I know. But I can't name names because I'm on camera. I also shouldn't when I'm not on camera in a microphone because it's the same thing. So I don't know. I guess I'll just, I'm keeping my phone on in case something happens. We can all imagine if it happened during the first I Seem Fun live video broadcast. I would go down in history like whoever was like, JFK just died, which I think was everybody that was on the air. So it's really not a thing. And it's not like, oh, I'm just like one of the 3 channels back then. So no one will really care. Somebody else, some like younger person with a podcast will say it. And then they'll be like, oh my God, that was amazing. And then I'll be like, I said it too. And everyone will be like, boo. So, all right, I'm going to complain about a few things. Talk about Christmas. Talk about this woman trying to motivate us in this exercise class by talking about the weekend, which is my least fucking favorite thing. But I feel like I should be very honest with you guys. It's weird to do this on the on-camera one, but I had a bout of depression last week. And I know that we talk about that on this show. And I feel like I've had some people email me that it's not that they think I'm lying, but they think that because, you know, it doesn't come up that much anymore, which isn't true really. It's just a constant that I live with, that that it must be over with. And it is. I mean, I'm not medicated, and not that that's the goal or should be your goal. I just didn't have this everyday pit of despair. But so depression, as we know it, is the not sadness, but the absence of feeling. And so I went into a spiral this week, and I don't even want to be honest about it because I feel like it brings down my, this is the internal struggle of how honest I should be on these things. I feel like it brings down the image of me, the, what's the word? Like, not my cachet, but my, you know, you get too honest with the listeners and then they start to not believe in you. And they're like, am I backing a loser here? And so I was getting depressed about my possible future, which is to a lot of people great. You know, I just taped my second Netflix special. My specials on there are, well, there'll be 2 on there, which is a giant honor. And a few people have had that. But a lot of those people are selling more tickets on the road than me. And that's what I was starting to freak out about, was thinking about what happens when it comes out. What if everyone hates it? What if, this is my biggest fear, what if the smart people don't think it's smart enough and the dumb people just turn it off? And then everyone else is just like, I used to like her, but she's talking about too many women's issues. This special has a lot of lady issues in it, but I don't know how else to talk about it because I'm a lady in the world. And I've been traveling alone a lot for the past 2 years. So I've had a lot of funny, I think they're funny, experiences. And then I relate them back to, you know, women in this world. And so I feel like I like listening to comics that aren't white talk about their experience, and I laugh and I go, ha ha ha. And I send my slaves home early for the day and I go, you know, it inspires me. But I feel like there's an easier thing now. There's still racism, obviously. But I'm just talking about comedy, strictly comedy, the racism and sexism within audience to comedian. I feel as though white people have an easier time laughing at a comic that's not white, especially if it's a man, because they think that comic is cool in this kind of white person, almost condescending way. Like, I want Chris Rock to like me. But guys, I don't think laugh as much when a woman is making fun. And I'm worried about that. And so I'm worried about it being panned and then not watched and then no one comes and see me. Or I'm worried about the other thing, which is it's great, but for some reason people don't buy tickets to my shows and I'm still stuck playing the same venues I have been, which for some people would be enough. It would be a triumph. But I guess I'm more ambitious than I thought I was. And so I just immediately went into a depression where I was like, well, it's not going to happen because I'm old lady Magoo and no one cares and someone younger is going to do it better. And then they're going to get and just spiraling. And then because I'm in, you know, I do self-help and I do therapy. So I was talking to my man friend about it. And I was just like, I need to vent. And he was like, okay, but here you're leaving your spiritual life out of it. You know, we all don't know what's going to happen. And I was like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to go back. Just go down the rabbit hole with me. And he was like, well, but you have such a, you know, you're such a different place than you were 2 years ago in your life. Like you're more peaceful. You've calmed down. You do this, you do that. You've resolved a lot of deep issues. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Look at this. And I made a list of awful people that have succeeded this year in their television shows, in their stand-up. And I was like, they never said a fucking prayer in their life. Well, this person, and what am I working so hard for? What am I doing work on myself for? That doesn't matter. You can get ahead. Look at all the sick people that get ahead in show business. And so But then a lot of nice people get ahead in show business. And then a lot of people get forgotten. This is what I do not want to be. I do not want to be like Netflix right now. Recommended. If you watch a movie about divorce or I don't want kids or I'm a strong woman, it'll say recommended after you watch the movie, Jen Kirkman stand-up. I don't want it to be documentaries about bands that never made it, but all the bands you know and love are like, I loved that band, but they never made it and everyone died. They didn't even commit suicide. They just spontaneously combusted in a pit of despair. And I don't want that to be like, we recommend Jen Kirkman. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like there's this cosmic thing that is like, I'm just never going to get past a certain thing. And that is historical bullshit. That is just a tape I've been playing in my head since I was a kid. Where it came from, we can analyze. I'm aware of where it came from, but we don't need to discuss. And it's just negative, negative, negative. And so all I can do is love what I do and keep doing it, because I've gotten far enough that I literally couldn't do anything else. I don't know how to be a secretary anymore because there's all these programs I don't know how to use. And now a month ago, I was daydreaming, what if my man friend made millions suddenly this year? I would just live off of him. And I told him my plan. I said, I think I'm ready to live off someone. And he was like, okay. And so a month ago, I thought if anyone bought me a $10 million apartment in New York and I could just have my hobbies and go to thrift stores and do fashion-y stuff and read magazines and books and have intellectual conversations over coffee and then continue them into the night over wine, I'd be happy. And part of me thinks that because I don't know if I get like joy from working. I mean, I guess I do, but sometimes you just don't feel anything. You just do what you do and you do it. And then, so we were discussing that the other night and I was like, no, I only want to do comedy in some form, TV shows or stand up. And if it doesn't work out, I guess I'll just have to jump out a window. And I went to this crazy place that my only options later in life would be to slowly kill myself by like taking up smoking again, or, I don't know what, I could not see past it, but it wasn't like laying in bed, woe is me depression. I suppose I was being funny about it, but I couldn't stop going down the rabbit hole and I wanted to keep going down it. And I was like, I don't have any more bootstraps to pick myself up by. Enough already. I'm tired. I'm getting old. I'm give up. And so I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I realize I'm in a transition here, and that's so I talked about it in therapy. Now, here's another weird thing I do. Sometimes I go to therapy, and I've had a moment like that during the week where everything's horrible, and I can't think straight, and I feel like I just don't want to do anything, and I just want to, I don't know what, I want the aliens to come get me. And then I'll go to therapy and be like, nothing really went on this week. And then we'll just talk about something weird. And I realized I should tell her that I came up with a great plan for my future, which is to feel nothing and slowly kill myself. And she was like, that's depression. And I was like, I know, but I don't want to be someone that's on meds and doing this and doing that. And she was like, doesn't mean you have to go back to all that. It just means when you're in a transition, you don't process it well because of your history of depression. You go into that. You're not Tom Cruise who's like, we're going to fucking do this. Yeah, get pumped. I'm not a get pumped person. I get a little bit jittery after coffee and I'm like, woo. And I'll like, do one thing and then be like, oh, that was great. And then that's it. But so I realize I'm in the transition. I have been on the road running from the law for 2 years. And now I have to realize you have to take stock of your life every once in a while. I do not like Los Angeles. I genuinely do not like it. And I hate when people say to me, you loved it when you moved there. And then people start making crazy noises. They turn into birds. And but yes, I ran screaming from New York 15 years ago because I had never lived on the West Coast. I was a child of the East Coast from age 0 to 26 or 27. And I didn't like snow because I didn't ski and I just didn't know what you're supposed to do in it. And I'd gone to Florida once a year. I'd been to like warm weather probably like 7 times in my life, like a tropical location. And I just thought, I want to live there. And I got to LA and I was damn right. I was broke as fuck. I mean, negative 30,000 in the bank at one point. I had a creditor standing on my front lawn. I used to live in a shithole, a house that it looked like the floors were made of cardboard, cockroaches, Echo Park, literally a crack den across the street. And you know who lived in back of me? The hilarious, she lived in the guest house to my shitty house. We both were renting. My roommate has since passed on. But the woman that lived in back of us was Martha Kelly, the brilliant comedian and actress on Baskets with Zach Galifianakis. And so Martha would come and be on my front lawn and go, Jen, the landlord came and was looking for you, and he said that that we're damaging the dryer. We had this crazy landlord. He was like a slumlord, and he lived in Malibu, but he only wore stained sweatpants all the time. And he was obsessed with this washer dryer that he bought, and he put it in the basement. And most things in Los Angeles don't have a basement. So if there's ever a flood, which there was often, things get wet. But that wasn't the issue with the washer dryer. He was obsessed with, your natural like scuff marks that might happen, which now I realize you can buy the magic eraser by the guy with the bald head, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. But he would be like, look, what are you girls doing to this? And I'm like, I don't even know. He was acting like we were having like a kicking party. But he would drive from Malibu to Echo Park, which if you don't live here, that's 20 miles and in traffic 2 hours. And to shame us about that. And it was a really negative, nasty time in my life. And I was working, I had temp jobs, and then I was working at Lifetime Television, which was actually a fun job. I worked 4 days a week, and I was the person that if you went to the website and watched a little clip of the Golden Girls, I had picked the clip and I had written, Rose gets her first kiss at age 60 or whatever. And, but at the time it was kind of getting depressing because Lifetime was starting to get into the original content space, and they were trying to get into comedy, and now they do have great shows on the air, but they were talking then about they want to find funny women and funny women and funny women. And I was in the web department, so I never had to deal with the TV people. But then all of a sudden there was this thing that happened where we were watching video on TV, and then TV and the web department wanted to have meetings together. And I'd sit in on these meetings, and they'd be talking about comedians that they went around town seeing. And I would be sitting there like, I'm a comedian. And I had some stuff at that point. I was on, like, I'd been on Craig Ferguson and Premium Blend, this thing on Comedy Central, and this show Late Friday on NBC. And I wasn't a total loser. I just hadn't, like, hit any hump yet. But I think I'd even done a comedy album with a Special Thing Records, and I had a little fan base at the UCB Theater. Nowadays, they don't know me because it's been so long, and I walk in, they go, ma'am, you need a ticket, ma'am. I'm like, excuse me, look at the wall, that's my picture. Oh, it's not. Oh, my picture used to be there. And I was so depressed. But I loved Los Angeles so much that I would leave the building and go, look at those mountains, look at those palm trees, you can see the snow-capped mountains in the distance. I'm not at the beach, but I could go. It's too far away and annoying, but I could go. And I felt like I loved it. And it was definitely cheaper than New York in a lot of ways. And it was new, I guess. But now it's not so new. And everyone's older. And it's not a good city to be an older person in, because as you get older, you get more settled and you would like to stay home and be with your things, be it your significant other or your dog or your magazines or your Netflix or your whatever. Or you work hard, you work from home. It's not a let's go out place. It's more like, let's catch up over drinks, and then you keep postponing it. So when you live in New York, there's a youth that's thrown at you that you don't even know you still have in you, where you can meet someone at the last minute because it doesn't take too long, and you walk over here and everybody's up. And even when you're sitting in your apartment, you can hear other people outside. And I don't mean like, woo, you hear people going like, woo, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass, Alicia, I'm serious. I don't want to hear that. But you hear the city and beep, beep, and beep, beep, and that. And there's something about it that's invigorating. So I feel like I'm just in a different phase in my life now where I need to be invigorated. I don't need to live in a 2x4 with a rat. So I have to wait until I'm making bank to move there. And thus brings me to my problem. I've got to make bank. Now, I don't know, maybe someone could hack my phone or something. I mean, I don't really have anything scandalous. But you know, now that's, although I did get a call once from Apple and they're like, someone's trying to get into your account. You have to do this protective thing with your iCloud. And I was like, that's horrifying. Because you don't think there's anything in your phone. You're not having an affair. There's no scandal in your life. You're not like leaving your company to start a new one and be a competitor. You know, you're not secretly a pedophile or something, you know. But if you just quick look at your texts, you realize no scandal, but man, do I not want this out there. Like this text my friend sent me. Please look at the photos that Boop posted from Boop. He looks Boop. And then I'm like, oh my God, he does. Hang on. I just don't get him, but I also don't take him that seriously. Oh, also, here's an article to that person we hate. Boop. Continued fuck you to them. Finally, people are picking up on that they're an asshole. Oh my God, thank God. That Boop is so fucking full of Boop self. I can just tell by that pic. We would be screwed if these texts got out. They are about people in the public eye, people we know, friends of ours. So I really don't want my phone hacked is my point. Even though I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm not doing anything right. So I was depressed, and just talking about it actually helped. And I think that is what happens when you live with depression for so long. Sometimes you kind of just get so used to it when it flares up that you don't talk about it. And then when you do, you go, okay. I just didn't want someone telling me it's going to be okay. It's like, you don't know that. And it's true, they don't. They're just trying to cheer you up. But you don't know either way. You just have to keep doing what you're doing. But you don't have to feel enthused about it. A great tip is act as if. Act as if everything's going to be okay. You don't have to believe it. And then eventually you find yourself believing it. But I guess so that's what came out of that depression. And now I'm like, what was I talking about? If someone bankrolled me and I could just move to Paris and read, I'd be so fucking happy. But the other night I was like, nothing will ever make me want to live life. It is just, I failed at everything. And so luckily that has passed. But, you know, I had to work it out. And I realized something about myself that isn't applicable to this conversation. But, I forget what I was saying. But anyway, yes, I used to love LA. Now I don't. I think people change. I think allow your 42-year-old friend to be different than she was when she was 26. Don't be like, yeah, you used to love it. Look at you coming back. It's like, well, not really. I think it's a classic New York, LA thing too. You love one, you get sick of it, you go to the other, and you get sick of it again, you go back. So anyway. So this is what I did this week, possibly to combat the depression, but also because I would have anyway. I went on pier1.com. This is not a commercial, but if they want to pay me, that's fine. First of all, I ordered online because I didn't want to go into the store because it happens every fucking time. Do you want to open a credit card and save 10%? Nope. I knew what the prices were. I knew that you would offer 10% off. Whatever the difference is, I have the money. I'm buying it. Like, imagine if you wanted the 10% off, but you didn't qualify for the credit card. And you're like, fuck, I was banking on that 10% off. And then you had to return things. Oh, that was my point. So years ago when I lived here, and I still live here, when I'm living in Echo Park, I had this credit card debt. I literally didn't know you had to pay credit cards. I was so stupid. I had like a generic credit card, $500, and you keep building your credit when I was in college. And I just maxed it out and then some. And I think back then you could withdraw the money out of an ATM. And then I was just like, well, I'm going to move so I don't have to pay it. Thought I could fool them by changing my zip code. And I moved to New York. And then that followed me. And I had a Bath and Body Works credit card, a Victoria's Secret credit card, an Express, the Limited Express credit card. I think I had Old Navy or the Gap. I had everything. I think I had Pier 1. I had a Pier 1 credit card. I maxed them all out and just didn't pay them. And my credit was bad for 8 years. I think it even with, making good money and having People helped me handle it. I still had bad credit for a long time. That shit won't leave you. So don't fuck around, kids. Because when you're an adult, you actually need credit cards to run your business or travel. And it's nice to get points and all that kind of stuff. So I fucked up. But there was a creditor or someone standing on my front lawn yelling my name. It looked like a movie where a guy was in love with me, except he wasn't. He was paid to give me a warrant for my arrest. And I stood on my front lawn in Echo Park, and I was like, oh my God. And now that I look back on it, I don't know if it was a warrant for my arrest. It was not a warrant for my arrest. The thing you give when you're getting a divorce, you hand someone papers. I'm suing you is what it was. It was I'm suing you. Subpoena. A warrant for my arrest. Here you go. Do what you will with it. A subpoena. I got subpoenaed by somebody, one of the creditors, and I was losing it, literally losing my shit. I think I probably ran in the house and had diarrhea, and I like can't even remember how I dealt with it. I just took it step by step, and I got on a payment plan. I mean, it was a small one, like $50 a month for 30 grand of debt, and it took me so long to pay off. And every year that I made more money, I made those payments bigger. And so I don't do credit cards anymore, except for my one main credit card that I use for travel, or, if I'm buying a bunch of things like Christmas gifts on or something, but I don't have credit cards for individual stores. Not because I think I'm going to go crazy and spend all this money. I just feel like it's easier, and I like getting all my points on one card for my travels and my whatever. And that's it. I don't think it's anyone's business. So when I go to Pier 1, it's like, do you want to start a card? No, I only come here once a year. But you save 10%. I understand, but I don't want to fill out the form. I want to use my credit card. I want to get my points. I want to manage it the way I manage it. I know, but how can you give up 10%? It's easy. You gave me the price. I picked up the item. That's what I plan to pay for it. This 10% is a whole new thing. I'm fine. So it never ends. It's literally to the point where I'm crying and I'm like, I'm triggered, and then they're running after me and they're like, ma'am, wait. And I'm like, I don't even want the wine cozy that has fur on it. I don't want the fake fur thing you put around the wine bottle. I don't want it. Just stop pressuring me. So I decided to do my shopping on pier1.com, and they're having a sale. And that way I could just go pick it up and no one would be like, do you want to start a credit card? Because I would have already paid for it. And it's a brilliant way, if you don't want to spend too much money, to shop. Buy it all online. You go in the store, you're tempted, you're like overwhelmed, and you might not pick out what you want. So I've been working on my Christmas decoration list for 2 months, and I've decided what goes where and what I'm going to buy, and I put everything in a shopping cart on pier1.com, and I bought it. And I went in, and the Christmas decorations are already up, which makes me so happy. Like the Halloween ones are shoved in the corner, like, fuck you, you witch, you didn't get bought this year. And there's still 10 more days for that witch to be purchased, but they have zero faith in her. So she's in the corner, and now they just have, and they have the most eclectic Christmas decorations, like feathers and this. And I just get overwhelmed, and I walk in, and I'm like, and I didn't buy anything extra. But I'm pretty excited about my purchases. I have a pillow that's white velvet with a big snowflake on it, and it lights up, and it can light up solid or blink. And if you want to have a seizure at my house, come over, I'll put it on blink for you. So I was pretty excited. And I got home, and I unwrapped all of it, and it's sitting on the couch in my home office, and it's just like, we're ready. We're ready. And on October 1st, I am going to put up my decorations. Not my tree, just my decorations. And I can't fucking wait. And my handyman, who's lovely, I think I talked about him months ago because he got all these good Yelp reviews to the point where it was creeping me out. Like, he saved my baby's life. He performed an emergency tracheotomy. But he doesn't like Hillary, which is fine. You don't have to like her. But he's like a Bernie dude, conspiracy a little bit. Hillary's corporate. She's same as Trump. And he's like, my mom's just like you. She thinks she's going to be great. So I had to make a decision. Do I want this guy coming over before the election or after? Because I know after he'll be fine. He'll be like, great, Trump isn't president. But before, he'll be like, I don't know. I'm looking at those emails. He's someone that's like reading the emails. So, but you know what? I want that. Now you're like, why do you need a handyman to put? Because I've got intricate things this year. I've got giant rows of garland pre-lit LED that's going over like my sliding doors. And he's really good at like hiding the work, like how you nail things in. And I can't do any of that shit. So I might have to deal with a little bit of like, conspiracy, but I already voted. I voted by mail. So I might just tell him it's lost on me. I could just say, I actually don't agree with anything you say. It's hard when someone's in person and they've got a hammer. So I think I'll just leave that. But I was so excited to get those up. So that's going to be November 1st. Nobody bother me between 10 and 11 a.m. And then I'm putting the tree up on November 8th, the night of the election. Everyone else will be at election parties. I will be home watching the results come in and putting up my tree. Because two things. I have been so fucking anxious about this election that I just need something pretty to look at. Number two, lightness in a time of dark. We talk about it every year. It's going to be dark if Trump wins. I don't think he's going to, but anything can happen. We got aliens contacting us. Do not tell me that you know the future. And if Hillary wins, it's going to be dark because people are all mad because they've been told the system is rigged. And I'm afraid of riots, not like outside my door, but I'm just afraid of 4 years of people hating women. So if it makes me feel better, Jen, what did you do the 4 years that everyone hated women? I put a Christmas tree up, and that's what I want to do. I might wait, but the Grove in LA is putting their tree up November 13th. Oh my God, and if you can believe it, I already know what my Christmas card is going to be this year, and I can't. It's so exciting. I'm sure someone's done this, but I have an amazing photo of me. Well, I think it's amazing. When I'm 5 years old and I'm sitting on Santa's lap, he was in our kitchen. My dad's friend, Jack Kidd, dressed up as Santa Claus, and I knew it was Jack. And Jack was a little bit of a drinker, and I knew Santa smelled like booze. And I've got my nose right to his, and you can tell by the intensity of my pose that I'm like, you're not Santa. And I love that picture. So I want to go to the Grove, which if you guys, again, don't know what that is because you're not in Los Angeles, it is our giant mall that's outdoors, but they have a 100-foot Christmas tree every year, and they have Santa's workshop, and even a trolley that takes you from the Gap to Top Man. What more could you want? You think the aliens have that on their fucking Cleus planet? You think they've got a trolley that takes them from Gap to Top Shop? And you can hop off. You can hop off and go to Cheesecake Factory. You can hop off and go to the Apple Store. There's no fucking way these assholes have that. They might be smarter than us, but they're not more fun. There's no fucking way the aliens are more fun than us. So I'm going to sit on Santa's lap as a grown woman. I'm going to try to, I can't recreate the outfit totally because I was wearing a red turtleneck with blue pants with flowers on them. And I don't own something such as that anymore, but it'll be close. And I'm going to put a little red little girl's barrette in my hair. Is this creepy, actually, now that I'm thinking about it out loud? And I'm going to sit on Santa's lap and recreate the pose. And then we're going to put the two pictures side by side and we're going to send it off, and that's going to be my Christmas card. But I don't want to look like, it's not going to be like a porn star, like short skirt, hey Santa, tits out. It's literally just me recreating the photo as an adult because I try to do fun and different things because the people I send my cards to are all the people that I hate this. Do not send pictures of just your fucking children that you're not in. I don't know who you are. I don't know who sent this. It looks like I'm a pedophile. There's just pictures of children all over my house. And it's never a Christmas theme. It's just like a picture from your trip this summer. I don't care. You know what I want? A picture of your grown child. And I'll go, oh, great. You know what that means? I can go back over their house now and I don't have to talk baby talk. It's been 20 years since I've seen Julie. Thank you for sending me a picture of your adult son, thus ensuring that when I come over for wine, I don't have to pretend that to be interested in putting your kid to bed. So, I try to make it fun. Last year, I took a collage of different places I'd been all over the world. And in the center of it was a big picture of me in front of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree giving a peace sign. And I said, peace to every corner of the world. I thought it was very timely. I'd already had them made up, and then the Paris attacks happened, and there was a lot of ISIS fear, especially a lot of ISIS fear in my family. My family lives in northern Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire, and I'm not sure we've had an ISIS attack there, but everyone up there is prepared. They're thinking about it. They're always talking about ISIS. And so, but a lot of people in my family did not like the card. I think some people found it not politically correct. They felt that they don't want to wish peace to the world because there's some bad people out there that we need to shoot. So I apologize I didn't write, let's fuck up some Muslims on my Christmas card, as some uncles of mine would have liked. But so I try to do different things because I'm not married and I don't have kids. And no one in my family ever goes, how are you? Do you have a relationship that makes you happy? You don't want kids, right? I never bought your book. Sorry. Like, there's just this assumption that I'm lonely and everything's terrible. So I try to make it fun. Like, here's my fun life. I'm traveling. I'm thinking I sat on Santa's lap as a 42-year-old. That's fun. And then I have a little app that makes two pictures go next to each other. Like, come on, you guys, I'm living it up. I got a full life here. And so I think my life is great. But the people with the kids, and then they get my card, and it's like, there she is alone again. But I don't believe in putting boyfriends on Christmas cards. I think it's tacky. And I don't care if we're together 15 years. It's like we don't live in the same house. So I guess if we lived in the same house, it would be from this household. So yeah, like upon moving in together, I think you'd do joint Christmas cards. But I don't want to have to write on the back, you know, I'm really into living alone for as long as possible because I've already been married. And if we ever move in together, it's going to be moving to New York. And again, as I said, if you listen to my podcast on this one episode, it's going to have to be in a $10 million apartment. That might take years. So don't worry about me. I'm having a great time. Just thought it would be funny to sit on Santa's lap. Thanks. But you can't say all that in a Christmas card. But I'm fucking so excited. So Santa is coming November 13th to the Grove in Los Angeles. And he will be there every day from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. And I am going to fucking get on his lap. And I'll get there at 9 a.m. And what kind of weird parent takes their kid at 9 a.m. instead of school? So hopefully it'll just be me. And hopefully he'll do it. I don't want to get some dickhead Santa that's like, ho, 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 and still trying to pretend like, dude, I'm on to you. I know you're not Santa, but do this picture. So yeah, Christmas decorations ordered. Oh, I didn't tell you guys. Well, I don't even know if I'm supposed to tell you, but I'm going to be in a movie. I had this, it's 3 scenes. 2 of them are wordless. It's just sort of like the girls are all together. And then one scene is me. I don't know if don't know if I'm supposed to say it. So I won't say it yet, but it's a big star, female star. And it's a movie she's in, directed by a really amazing a director who's quite known and successful and I would say historic. And so I, don't think I'm Shakespeare. Shakespeare wasn't an actor. What name an actor? I'm not this amazing, I actually can act. I went to school for it. But to me, I can't call myself a good actor unless I cry on cue. And I'm like, you better give me my baby back. And I'm like Southern and I'm like playing a foster mom. And I'm like, ah. So, but it's a very easy scene. It's, of course I'm overthinking it. I'm doing the lines in my head, but it's, we're congratulating our friend on her new business venture. It's her birthday. We're trying to set her up with someone, girls having drinks. But, in this movie, I have to say a line about going to pick up my kid, which I think is funny. And, it was an interesting story. I had gotten off the road. I was home for one day after taping my Netflix special, and I thought I had a fever because I was sweating a lot, and I think I did. And I was getting sick, but I never got sick. And I went to, without showering and no makeup, and my hair was dirty, like greasy dirty. I went in my sweatpants and drove into the city. I live in the Valley. I drove into West Hollywood. I went to this health store place to get some healthy things. And I get a text from my agent. This director would like to see you right now. I was like, I don't have any, I think I have a fever. I'm sweating. But I knew, usually in an audition, they'll say, you're going to go read on tape. They tape you, and a casting director's there. And you can blow those off because the odds of you, well, you shouldn't blow them off, but I do. So when the director calls and I went and we met, and then I improvised a little, and I was like, please tell her I'm coming in sweatpants and I'm sweating. And I feel like that was like kind of a good conversation starter. And so then I found out a little while later that I got the part and I'm filming this week. So that'll be super fun. You will see me. It's very quick. It's very quick. I'm not putting myself down. I'm just saying nobody get excited. We're not buying the New York City apartment from that one. But It's pretty cool. I've never been on a real movie set before, which makes me sound like a loser. Which, wait, you haven't been on one person watching it, so, but you're like, but you're in the business. That's true. But I think it'll be super exciting. And I just hope I don't completely overthink it and go, it's your birthday, have a good one, and then just act like I've never said words before, which is a giant possibility, but I don't think so. So I'm doing that. And once I can tell you what it is, I'll tell you. I'm sure it's fine now, but what if it wasn't? You know, then I get on set and they're like, so someone here has a podcast and they were talking about this. This is top secret. So I was going to read an email. Do we want to read an email on camera? I think I'll wait. Yeah. I was just going to talk about, I took this Power Plate class. If you don't know what it is, Clint Eastwood loves Power Plate, everybody. And Mark Wahlberg, big fans of it. You're on a plate, it's shaking, it's I don't know, it's crazy. It's a way harder workout than if you were doing these things not on the Power Plate. And I went on a Friday at 10:30 a.m. So if you have a job, you've had jobs before, you're usually at work Friday at 10:30 a.m. You are not at a Power Plate class. So I assume everyone in the class, either some people maybe had the day off, or some people were going to go into the office late that day, or some people work freelance or run their own business. But it didn't seem like anyone was your basic 9-to-5er, including the woman teaching the class. And so, because I know that she was on the schedule to teach all weekend. And so she kept being like, come on, guys, you've earned it. It's the weekend. And it's like, no one here has a normal life. There's no weekend to us. I didn't even know what fucking day it was. And Saturday, I had to work. I was writing on something. And then Sunday, I had to do some work. So it wasn't the weekend. I was fucking dreading the weekend. Dreading it. Come on, you've earned where you're going to go eat tonight. I'm like, eat tonight? I have a fitting in the morning. I can't fucking eat. I get so mad why do people lazily say things like that when they themselves don't have what they're talking about? No one in that room was having a weekend, including that fucking woman. There was no world where she wasn't going to have to be at work all weekend. And why couldn't she just say, you made it to class today. You obviously all don't have real jobs or run your own business, and that's not very motivating. So good for getting your fucking asses here, and I'm sure you'll eat and drink twice as much as you've burned off tonight, and you'll probably blow it off tomorrow. But anyway, you're here now, and I don't need to inspire you. I just need to keep playing this horrible air raid signal music, and the workout that I'm doing when I listen to that shit is I'm just like, I pretend I'm actually running from a nuclear bomb. Do you know what music I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm not going to read letters. That's way too boring. I'm going to end early because I've recorded a second part, which is, I read those articles. So just the next part, if you love Trump and you're voting, don't even listen. If you're on the fence, undecided, third partying it, I'm just going to read you 2 more articles. Everybody set your DVR. October 29th, A Wish for Christmas on the Hallmark Channel. The first of the Hallmark Christmas movies begins. And I tell you, this year I'm going to write one for next year. I have a good idea. I am not telling you people because you will steal it. But it is called A Match for Christmas. And the logo is someone striking a match and the flame is a heart. And you dare steal that. You don't even know the plot. But that's what it's going to be. A Wish for Christmas, starring Lacey Chabert. I don't know if that's how you say her name. Her name is in the movie. Sarah Shaw is the type of woman who prefers to sit on the sidelines at work. But when her big idea for a Christmas initiative is stolen, she makes a wish to Santa that she'll finally have the courage to stand up for herself. When Santa grants her wish and she gets a chance to prove herself to her boss. She'll discover how to speak out on her own. This is a very feminist movie, just in time. Just in the season of all this strife towards women. And I think we're ready for a female president. We're ready for a Hallmark Christmas movie about speaking up to your boss. This is exciting stuff. And I watched a clip of it, and my favorite part, and I love these movies, is she's talking to her boss, and her boss goes, if you want that job in Paris, then you have to make the best Christmas display in history. In history. Do you know how much pressure that's going to be on Sarah Shaw, played by Lacey Chabert, to get that job in Paris? What job? They don't specify that job. Don't ask questions. Move to Paris. Find out later what your job is. This is the Hallmark Channel. We don't have time for all this exposition. We could have said it in one line. No, fuck you. More scenes of people in New York City in the winter without hats on. Scarves that just hang around your neck and you don't tie them around it. I can't wait. Why would you wear gloves? It's -2. You don't need gloves. What is that? That's a parking spot on the Upper West Side. I'll pull right in. God, I can't wait. I can't fucking wait for these movies and their commitment to not being realistic representations of any big city that you've ever been in. And I don't care. I don't want them to be accurate. And so also Saturday, October 29th, this is funny. If you guys want to come see me, this is not anything to do with All Things Comedy, but I will be at the EW Pop Fest in downtown LA. And I got this email from this publicist I sometimes work with, who I'm not currently working with because I'm not promoting anything, but she got an email and she wrote to me and said, I'm working with the newly launched Too Short's Boombox podcast. That's right, Too Short. Hosted by legendary rapper Too Short himself. He's been added to the EW Pop Fest lineup, and Short asked me to see if Jen would be interested in joining him and the boys on stage for a live recording. We're looking for a funny female perspective on hot topics. I don't know. This is what publicists say. They don't go, we pitched you, or some producer that's booking it for Too Short who has no idea what's going on asked for you. That's probably all it is like someone who's a fan of the Howard Stern wrap-up show, and they've heard me on that, and they're the producer. But they don't ever tell you that when a publicist invites you to something. It's always like, so Short asked if you'd want. Too Short did not go, oh, we got to get Jen Kirkman for this. That's not a thing that happened. And if it did, fuck all of you. I'm cool. So I will be on stage with him, I believe. Oh, no, I'm not in his. Just go to ewpopfest.com/boombox. It's Saturday, October 29th, 2 to 3 p.m. It's an estimated 15,000 guests will be in attendance. I think that's over the whole weekend. I can't imagine 15,000 people are going to sit at a podcast and just be like, ooh, ooh, and it's just going to be like, ooh, and like a giant thing. But I'm dying to know. His podcast was the number 3 music podcast on iTunes recently. So, hey, look, I'm sorry, All Things Comedy, to take listeners away. I know he's not part of All Things Comedy, but look, I might get involved. I might get in business with Short. I might get part of All Things Short network, you know? You guys have been great to me, but I had to move on and be with my people. And when people that I have more in common with contact me, you know, I got to make hard choices. And I don't talk to me about this off the air. It's too sensitive. This is just, I'm just going to ghost this network one day, and you'll know where I am. So anyway, everyone come see that. I've got a lot of LA gigs coming up over the next few months. Oh my God, wait, before we go. Well, obviously I'm part of the All Things Comedy Network. You can see it. Go to allthingscomedy.com. Go to facebook.com/iseemfun. Interact with other Facebook and I Seem Funners at I Seem Fun Podcast on Twitter. I will be, okay, everyone, get your tickets. December 3rd, it's the Jen Kirkman Dysfunctional Holiday Show at the Hollywood Improv. It's 8 o'clock, Saturday, December 3rd. It's going to be fucking fun. I throw candy at people. We sing songs. I'm going to have a thing where I make the audience write like their darkest secret about the holiday, like I hate my husband or something. I'm going to collect them all in a Santa hat, and all the comedians are going to read them at the end of the night. And we've got Laurie Kilmartin, Eddie Pepitone, Solomon Giorgio. It's a fucking great show. Solomon told me he was born on Christmas Day and his parents forgot his birthday once, so he's got fucked up stories. Eddie Pepitone's going to be yelling about everything that he yells about how we're all fucked and we're all distracting ourselves with Frank Sinatra music. And Laurie has wonderful family fucked up stories. And it's all just a ball of negativity, recognizing that it's a fucked up time of year, but we're having fun despite it. It's not a miserable show. It's the antidote to all the fake holiday cheer. We're having real holiday cheer despite the fact that things are so terrible and that we have this beautiful holiday, but then you got to go and spend it with people you don't always want to spend it with, right? So get tickets for that. A portion of the proceeds are going to the LA Regional Food Bank, and that is no joke. We even have like W-9s. I mean, the Improv is getting involved in the paperwork. It's really going to be donated. And then I'm working with this place called the Pajama Program, and they provide pajamas and books to kids in orphanages waiting to be adopted. If that's not Christmassy, I don't know what is. If that's not Christmassy. So I encourage you, if you come to the show, a part of your ticket price is already going to charity, but be extra charitable and bring a pair of pajamas for a child age 0 to 18 and a book. I would concentrate probably more on children's books. Don't bring some smutty young adult novel. And all you have to do is drop them off, and I will get them to the organization. So you don't have to do anything but be a good person and then sit down, have a couple drinks, enjoy yourself. And I think it'll be fantastic. It sells out every year, so I really would love it if you guys could get tickets now. It's jenkirkman.com, click on tour dates, and that should be up there. Or you can always go to improv.com and go to Hollywood and then find the date, which again is Saturday, December 23rd. It's my favorite night of the year. The Jen Kirkman Dysfunctional Holiday Show. So I really hope that the I Seem Funners will come. It's a total, and I think I'm going to show like a clip of a Hallmark movie and dissect it. Like it's going to be different. It's not just stand up. There'll be all kinds of stuff going on. I think you get the idea, but I can't seem to stop talking. Okay, I have gone 1.5 minutes over, and I am in big trouble. Too Short doesn't mind if I go over here. He told me. But All Things Comedy coming down on me. I already see. It's not on my website. God damn it. Don't go to jenkirkman.com for the fucking tickets. I didn't put it up yet. Just go to hell. This is where you should go. Go to improv.com. Join my email list, though. Go to jenkirkman.com/about, and you can get on my email list. Well, this has been fun. I hope the aliens don't get us, but in case they do, until the aliens get us, have fun. Yay!